It's time to learn how to animate in Photoshop. Let's get straight to it.
TipTut.
I'd like to take a moment to thank my level 2 members of the channel. Thank you so much for supporting me and what I do here at TipTut. Massive thank yous to Unknown Ghosts and WN62 for being my first 2 ever members. Thank you very much. I love you. If you'd like to get a shout out at the end of each tutorial video, consider hitting that join button below and becoming part of the TipTut zone. Hello everybody and welcome back to TipTut and welcome to another episode of Animation in Photoshop. Last time we did this little cape getting flicked and pulled away as the guy crouches and jumps off into the air. This time we should have been tackling the hand in this shot here, but I think the animation is going to work a little bit better if he smiles first and then the hand raises, because then it's a bit more of a joke when he slams back and he's just some doofus in a cape. So let's swap these around. Let's take these 2 shots here by just shift selecting them. I'm just going to drag them after the next 2 shots so that our head is first. It also gives us something a bit more fun and easy to draw before we go into the hand, which I hate because I can't draw hands. In this shot, his glasses are going to shimmer and then he's going to smile like a superhero ready to do battle. But then it turns out he's just some muppet. This one we're definitely going to draw on different layers, unlike the last frame where we did everything on the same layer. So let's give ourselves another 2 frames here. Let's add in a green filter on top. And I'm just going to use that to trace and warm up with our first character layer, which is going to be his head. Now I'm just going to draw everything underneath, even though his glasses in this shot are going to be opaque, just because it gives, it helps to understand your character's structure, even if it's not there in the scene. Now we need to remember, of course, that the little tops of his cape are visible. I think what I might do is have his hair blowing in the wind a little bit as well. So I'm going to do everything that isn't his hair on one layer, including his mouth and his nose and everything. And I'll do his glasses on another layer, and I'll do his hair on another layer too. So let's jump right into it. Like an Eskimo, we're rolling right into it. Now, here's an interesting fact. Because we didn't put anything on these layers here, if we click this layer and hit add to, it's going to add a massive, massive frame to fill up all that space. What I like to do is add another 2 after that, which actually will be 2. Delete all of those, and then you can just drag that into the new position, leaving the gap. But it will put it automatically after that. Don't know why, haven't figured out a way to fix it, but it's really easy to fix. You just need to click and drag to the right segment. Let's make the hair blue, because I believe in the animation it's actually going to be blue, using our blue filter here. And let's just pop that on its own layer, just so we've got a little bit of separation. We take things one at a time and we don't get overwhelmed with the complexity of said animation. Give his hair a little bit of a shade just to indicate that it'll be black in the final thing. And let's then add a new folder on top, because we need another roughs folder here. It's going to be roughs 3. Roughs 3. My dog's looking at me because I made a barking rough noise. And we'll paint this one red. We finally get to use the red. Fantastic. And on this layer, we will add our sun gigs, which are actually normal glasses, but like he's doing like a cool dramatic anime pose, so they're going to be shining as if they were sun giggos. And then the next shot, it makes it funnier when we reveal his eyes as well, because like he was a cool dude, but they turn out they're just big dorky glasses. Everyone hates nerds, right? Fucking nerds, sitting inside drawing pictures, playing video games, watching YouTube tutorials. Bunch of fucking nerds. Let's give ourselves a bit more space on the timeline here, just so we can see what's going on. And we're ready here. Now, I'm going to give myself a blank frame that is green. I'm going to give myself a blank frame that is blue. Excuse me, I made it a bit of an extra long boy there. And a blank frame that is red. And what we can do then is use these to duplicate these blank frames until we get the timing animation right. Now for the first bit, his face isn't going to be moving much really at all. So let's not take a blank frame. Let's just stretch that one out because we know it's not needed. Let's take a look at his hair though, because his hair we want to animate with a little bit like the wave principle, but I only want the right hand side to really move a lot. So let's draw what the opposite keyframe is going to be, which is basically going to be the hair like lowers itself in the wind. And we're just going to see if we can't loop what's going on. Now we want the bottom bit to ripple. Obviously these bits are going to ripple about, but like this top bit is kind of attached to his skull, so we don't want that to move too much. And again, we'll just indicate that this section is indeed colored in. So if we had that to be the opposite section, what we're going to need is like this looping sort of bouncing motion. So let's add in another blank frame there that we will make blue. And some asshole is revving his bike outside. So I'll just make a mark. Okay, sorry about that. Had a bit of a social disturbance with some youths outside. Now that we've got these two frames, what we're going to do is drag this one to the other side so that our blank frame's in the middle. Let's zoom in a little bit on the hair as well. And we're just going to try and make these like a nice little looping trio or quadrille. How did you say four? Group of four of frames, which are hopefully going to loop. So we want this one to be in the middle. Boom. Oops, that's a bit far out. Boom. Very nice. We want this to kind of be in the middle as well. Maybe we'll start over here on the left because I'm left-handed. I make it really difficult to draw and see what I have previously drawn. It's quite hard for left-handed people. Bam, there we go, nice. Again, scribble that in to indicate that it's going to be black. Don't forget this little middle hair bit as well. So what we should have here is a fairly okay loop. If we were to take these three frames, dog, excuse me, just fell off the sofa. If we were to take these three frames and just duplicate them a few times and then set our out loop just to be there for a second, we should see like a nice little somewhat consistent loop. Okay. Now, what I think we need is a fourth frame that brings this hair back up a bit, because we've got at the top, in the middle, at the bottom. We need like another in the middle one that's not the same as the previous in the middle one. So let's add in two frames there. Let's make them blue. And what I'm just going to do for now is take this top, middle, bottom one here. We're going to duplicate that bottom one and just drag it to the other end again. That's going to give us a nice bit of onion skin when we turn the onion skin on. So we've got the frame here, we've got an empty frame here, and then we've got the last frame here. So if we take a look, why is our onion skin not showing? We're on two frames. So you can see, why can't I see that? Blank, that's there, that's there. That's because they're the same frame. Top, middle, bottom, and then we want middle. It's because that needs to be the top. I'm an idiot. Top. Let's duplicate that top. Put the top at the end, and then there we go. When we turn it on, we'll see the two frames that we need. We need this to be coming back up. Okay. So that needs to be in the middle here, like kind of there-ish. And then that needs to be about there-ish. And then there-ish. But it's more towards the top than it is the bottom, if that makes sense, because it's then going to like indicate that it's moving back up. And pop you there like that. And pop you there like that and like that. Now if we delete this one because we don't need that for the loop, and then we duplicate this a couple of times, we should see a more in the windy loop, which is good. So happy with that. But what we need then is it to go a bit slower. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll add in a blank frame in between all of those, and then we can like half the speed of it almost. So let's add in a 2 here, and a 2 here, and a 2 here, and a 2 here. like that. And now we've got all the blank frames that we need. So we'll just quickly go through. Let's hide the storyboard again, a bit distracting. Let's quickly go through here and see if we can't draw directly in the middle for each thing, which basically halves the speed at which it's moving, which is nice. For now, I'm not going to color these blue until we're done, because it does help with the onion skinning a little bit. Nice. And because this bit is probably going to be boring because you're seeing me draw the same thing, I'll just fast forward through it. Okay, so as you can see, there we've got a fairly decent looping little section of hair there. If the head moves later on, I think it might shift up just a little bit. What we can do is just take that layer and just shift it each way, which is the beauty of working in Photoshop. Okay, awesome. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Go back to our normal frame here. Excuse me, and take a look at what else he's doing. So we've got the head moving. We would then want, if we turn our storyboard back on, we then want the head to sort of smile. And when he does smile, I think I want his head to move down a little bit too. So I'm just going to extend this so that I've got a nice onion skin for my preference. And let's shift the head a little bit. I think the head's going to stay... The head will stay the same shape. His features will just move. That seems to be fitting more this style. So we'll take his whole head here, take his ear, and this ear. The nose, I think, will just get a little bit more pointed downwards because he's going to be sort of looking down and smirking. And then his smirk's going to go like, yeah. But then we'll take the whole thing and we'll just shimmy it down ever so slightly. Like so. And then his neck and this bit will be the same. So that's where we're going to end up with the head. It's going to take a couple frames to get there, obviously. So let's just pop in a couple of frames here. Let's do it one at a time so that our onion skin's nice and easy to work with. And let's just do that. I think it's just going to need, honestly, 5 frames. One which is the start, one which is the direct middle, one which is the direct end. And then maybe just 4 frames, maybe like a settling frame. Because I want it to be like quite a faster slow motion. So I think actually probably just 4 frames will be fine and dandy. Halfway between there as well. If things are getting a little bit distracting, remember you can just select the layers and hide them temporarily, the ones that you don't want to see. So then you can work purely on the layer that you want to look at, which can be quite useful sometimes. Again, trying to get directly in the middle. Like so. Nice. Let's add in another 2. Make it green. And with this one, we'll just try and get, like we did before, try and get it bang on the last frame, but with like a little bit of difference, just so it's settling properly. I realise as well my head's always being cut off on this camera because I tend to hunch and disappear over the keyboard. So apologies if like half my face keeps disappearing. It's the best I can do in these circumstances. You don't need to see my face anyway. I don't know why I bother with face cam. Apart from apparently you guys like to see it. So I live to please. Ear, face region. Nice. What a nice face region this man has. Bam, happy. Let's take a look at how that looks as it settles in our little loop. Still Yeah, that's nice. That's definitely enough. That's definitely enough frames. Let's turn off the onion skin. Yeah, that's good because his hair will be moving as well. So let's turn his hair on. Ooh, excuse me, I disappeared on you there. Let's turn his hair layer back on. And using the movement tool, just as his head moves, obviously we will shift his hair to move down. So we'll need the onion skin for this, just to see how much it moves. So it moves a lot in the first one. Maybe if we do one shift. Oops, excuse me. So there I don't have the keyboards enabled. So when I hit shift down there, it moved the timeline. If I click this and hit shift down, it will move my hair down instead. If of course I have a layer selected. Bam, there we go. Let's have that move down 2 so it's significant. The next one, 1, 2, and then 3, so it's starting to settle. The next one, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 without the shift. And then 1, 2, 3 without the shift. And then 1, 2 without the shift. 1 without the shift. And then just shift 1, 2, 3. And that should bounce and then come back up again. So boom, boom, nice. So what that does is like, oh, adds like a little bit of overshoot. The head looks like it's kind of tilting back before it's going woof, settling down. I seem to have missed a bit of shading on the hair in one of these frames. That one. Silly me. I will forget if I don't indicate that. So cool, all these look good. So let's just make them all blue quickly. And the final bit then will be his glasses. Getting a bit long this episode again, but worth it. So these glasses, we just want to essentially move the shine across them in a cool way. So if we can zoom in on these. We can just shift this shine down a bit. Now I'm going to do these one lens at a time. Just because, excuse me, if I do this a bit of a better way, I can select a frame, make it red, and then just duplicate it a bunch of times. Oh, look at that, what a guess. Hello, Toffee. It's my dog down there. What do you want, Toff Toff? So basically, we'd like this shine to just continue. Obviously, when he moves his head down, we will move this down too. And I'm just going to go straight ahead with this one. Because as he tilts his head down to indicate it's moving, I'm going to have to squish them a little bit as well. So it's unlikely there's going to be any frames here that actually will look good looping. So we'll just shift this along. Shift that along. And again, trying to draw this nicely, but at the moment these are just roughs. So we probably will be coming back through and tidying these up a little bit as we go. Obviously do try and keep it the same because these aren't like the cape, yeah? These sunglasses aren't meant to be changing shape all the time. I think on the... Hang on a minute, No, I'm doing okay. Bam. Nice, looks good. Would reflections behave in this way in real life? I don't know. Probably not, but it looks cool as heck. So we'll do it anyway. Now they start to move. So from here we want a pretty significant squish. So what I might do is just squish that like so. Grab my move tool and just shimmy it down. And then, of course, remember, kind of guesstimate where this shine's going to be. Add in another bit there. Like so. Dog, would you stop causing trouble, please? Sorry, she's a new dog. She's a good girl, but she doesn't understand currently what filming is. the cat, it's taken like 6 years for the cat to understand that when the cameras are on, she's got to hush up. But the dog doesn't get it yet. Also, the cat gets it, but doesn't really give a shit. I'm hoping the dog will get it and give a shit. It's a foolish dream, I know, but what are you going to do? I live in hope. And what I'm hoping I can do for this one is just duplicate this layer group, shimmy it over a bit, and there you go. We've got our sunglasses. So hopefully I only have to draw it once, then go back through and draw the bridge. Let's shimmy that, shimmy that, shimmy that. That bit's not going to be white. That bit is still black, and that bit's still black. We just got 3 more frames to draw. Maybe we want the reflection to stop at the last minute, actually. Give ourselves a bit of like a dramatic pause before the next silly frame reveal. So we'll have these start to settle in place, I think. Again, is half my face missing? Yes it is, but that's okay. It's probably a good thing. You can see actually on the side of my head, I'm a bit overzealous with the beard trim and took out a chunk of my hair. And it's just unfortunate that that's on the camera side. Quarantine makes you do crazy things, like haphazardly trim your beard. Excuse me. And balls that up a bit. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Let's just get rid of that boy. Nice. Let's have a look at that. Let's turn off onion. That is pretty good, actually. I like that. Nice. Okay, what we'll be doing is duplicating this layer. The easiest way I found to do that is just go over here to your layers palette and hit Ctrl-J. That's going to duplicate that for you. And you can see already it's just dumped it on top. This first layer here, however, we are just going to have to quickly erase this boy before I realized I could just duplicate the layer folder. Now, as far as I'm aware, I cannot go and just do this and then shift move. I don't think that works. Oh, it does work. Wow, they made an update. Fantastic. That saves so much time. So let's get the frame where it's most offset and let's fix it from there. Like so. That looks about right. And that looks about right too. Awesome. So on this frame, I'm just going to come in and add our arch, turn on our onion skin, turn on our shortcuts, and we're just going to go through and try and keep it in the same place for each frame. As we go through and just quickly add the bridge until, of course, his face moves. And then we want the bridge, boom, to shift down, flatten out as it changes perspective a little bit. Nice. Now obviously remember that you probably won't be able to move with the same speed because I'm used to the software, etc. I know exactly what I want to draw and what's coming. So don't get disheartened if you can't quite do it as fast as that. Bam. Nice shot. That looks pretty darn good if you ask me. Let's turn off on the skin, have a look. Awesome. Okay, that looks great. More than enough for episode 3. There's a few bits where the hair disappears, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all, fill it in later. That'll do for now. Thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you're enjoying this tutorial series. If you do, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell and all that other crap that YouTube makes me say to please their algorithm overlords. Please watch my videos and subscribe if you like them. If you don't like them, tell me why, and I will cry. See you next time on TipTut.
Remember to subscribe for more tips, tricks, and tutorials. Thanks for watching.